Good morning. You are listening to UpReach, a morning devotional presented by the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee, to encourage you as you face the opportunities and challenges of today. Let's begin this day together with some inspiring thoughts from God's holy word. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments, and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ, and being ready to punish all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 3 through 6. One of the great discoveries one can make in his walk with God involves living in victory over generational strongholds. The Bible speaks of punishing the children for the sins of the fathers to the third and fourth generations. See Exodus chapter 20, verse 5. The only way one can find his way out of living under the curses of generational strongholds is to acknowledge them before the Father and repent of their reign in his life. This breaks the curse's future effects. A stronghold is a fortress of thoughts that controls and influences our attitudes. It colors how we view certain situations, circumstances, or people. When these thoughts and activities become habitual, we allow a spiritual fortress to be built around us. We become so used to responding to the voice of that spirit that its abode in us is secure. All of this happens on a subconscious level. I once knew a businessman who discovered that he had been influenced by a generational stronghold of insecurity and fear that was manifested in control issues. This subconscious fear motivated him to become a workaholic, to seek recognition through activities, to control others' behavior in an attempt to avoid failure, and to have a relationship with God that was activity-based instead of relationally based. One day, God brought about a number of catastrophic events that forced him to look at what was behind these events. He discovered that the influence of these strongholds was at the core of these symptoms. The Bible speaks of this kind of war on our souls. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments, and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ, and being ready to punish all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 3 through 6. The steps to freedom can only be truly experienced when we recognize the sins we harbor and we realize that in order to walk free of their influence, we must repent of them. It is through the power of the cross that we no longer need to be subjugated by their presence. Besides salvation, this becomes the most important discovery in one's entire Christian walk. Our relationship to Christ changes immediately. We begin to hear God's voice. We begin to trust Christ in areas we may have never thought possible. We can truly experience the love of Christ as if for the first time. What about you today? What are the true motivations of your heart? Have you ever looked deeply at these motivations? You might find that these subconscious motivations may be preventing you from experiencing the fullness of Christ in your life. Why not ask Him today to reveal these and then repent of their influences? This has been UpReach, a presentation of the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I am Kyle Bolton, the pulpit minister at Church Street, and I would like to personally invite you to come and share times of Bible study and worship with us each week. We meet every Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. for our morning worship, followed by our Sunday school for all ages at 10:15 a.m. Then we meet again at 6 o'clock p.m. for our evening worship. We also have a midweek meeting for devotion and Bible study on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.
There's the wonder of sunset at evening, the wonder at sunrise I see, but the wonder